Today's Bible story is the story of Abraham and Sarah. What's that, Francis John? You're fed up with waiting. What are you waiting for? You've been promised a special present from Grandma and Grandpa Teddy, but it hasn't come yet. Oh dear. You wonder if they've forgotten. Why do you think they'd have forgotten? Because they are really, really old. I'm sure it will come soon. Well, in our Bible story today, we hear about a very old couple, Abraham and Sarah, and how they had to wait a long time for something special God had promised them. Are you ready for our story today? The story of Abraham and Sarah. Abraham and his wife Sarah lived in the city of Haran. They were very rich. When Abraham was 75 years old, God said to him, "Leave your country, your family and your home, and go to a land that I'm going to show you. You will become the father of a great nation. I will bless you and make your name famous." Abraham trusted God, and he and Sarah left Haran with all their servants and Abraham's nephew Lot. They came to the land of Canaan. It was a beautiful place, and Abraham and Sarah settled there. One thing, though, made Abraham and Sarah sad. They were very old and they had no children. One night, God spoke to Abraham. "Abraham, look at the sky. There are so many stars you cannot count them. One day your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren will be too many to count, just like the stars." Abraham trusted God. More years passed, and when Abraham was 99 years old, God appeared to him and said, "Abraham, I am the Almighty God. Obey me and always do what is right. I will make you a promise and give you many children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren." Abraham bowed down with his face touching the ground, but he began to laugh when he thought, "I'm nearly 100 years old and Sarah is 90. Can we really have children?" "Yes," God said, "your wife Sarah will have a son and you will name him Isaac." Abraham trusted God. Abraham was sitting at the entrance of his tent during the hottest part of the day. He looked up and saw 3 men standing there. They were messengers sent by God. As soon as Abraham saw them, he ran out to meet them. Bowing down, he said, "Sirs, please do not pass by my home without stopping. I am here to serve you. Let me bring some water for you to wash your feet. You can rest here beneath this tree. I will also bring some food. You have honoured me by coming to my home, so let me serve you." Abraham hurried to get some food. He took bread and some meat and set the food before the men. He served them himself and they ate. The men asked Abraham, "Where is your wife Sarah?" "She is there in the tent," he answered. One of the men said, "Next year I will come back and your wife Sarah will have a son." Sarah was at the door of the tent listening. She laughed to herself. "I am 90 and Abraham is nearly 100. How can we have children?" God asked Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, 'Can I really have a child when I'm old?' Is anything too hard for God?" The months passed, and just as God had said, Sarah had a baby boy. Sarah and Abraham named the baby Isaac, which means laughter. In our story, we heard that Abraham was 100 and Sarah 90 before God's promise that they would have a baby came true. I wonder, have you had to wait a very long time for something? Or maybe you are still waiting for it. You may like to close your eyes and think about it now. I'm going to say a prayer. And if you want to make it your prayer too, please say Amen at the end after me. Dear God, sometimes I find it hard to wait for something. Help me to learn that you know just the right time to give me special things, just like the baby you gave to Abraham and Sarah. Amen. What's that, Francis John? Maybe Grandma and Grandpa Teddy haven't forgotten. I'm sure they haven't. But you're going to ring them just in case. All right then. Well, thank you for joining us today for the story of Abraham and Sarah. We look forward to you joining us again soon. Goodbye and God bless.